My sister mocked me in the family group chat as an unemployed gamer, then came crawling for free help. I refused. Weeks later, her career crumbled and the bar suspended her license. My sister Alicia, 29F, thought it was funny to make me, her 31-year-old brother, the punchline. She made a meme implying freelance coding was just being a basement gamer and shared it in the family chat. Everyone laughed. Nobody defended me. I didn't fight back. I just quietly left the chat. Fast forward a few weeks, and suddenly I'm the one she desperately needs. A major issue comes up, and the unemployed gamer is now her only option. What started as her trying to use me spiraled into a legal disaster. Lies, lawyers, and karma so sharp I didn't even need to lift a finger. It all began last Tuesday when my phone lit up. You ever just know it's about to ruin your mood? That was me. I was eating leftover Chinese, debugging a clunky old website that looked like it had time-traveled from 2005 when the family chat pinged. That group was always chaos. Mom with her good morning gifs, Dad spamming recycled hustle quotes, my aunt dropping minion memes, and Alicia posting self-congratulatory updates like she was running her own PR campaign. Usually I muted it and moved on, but this time was different. The meme was a cartoon of a scruffy guy in a hoodie, keyboard covered in Cheeto dust, surrounded by empty energy drink cans. The caption read, "Freelance coder equals unemployed gamer." She tagged my name twice. Then she added, "Elmau had to share, you good over there, Calder?" Mom replied with a laughing emoji. Dad said, "So true, haha." My cousin Nerissa tossed in a Kevin Hart laughing gif. Nobody defended me. Nobody. So I just left the chat. No big speech, no angry reply, just leave conversation. Not because I was fuming. Sure, it stung, but more than that, I was done wasting time with people who thought being a lawyer was the pinnacle of success, while running your own coding business meant you were one missed payment away from Twitch streaming Fortnite for rent money. Alicia was always the golden child. Straight A's, honor societies, law school. My parents practically threw her a parade for graduating. Cake, photo shoots, the works. When I got certified in front-end development and landed my first major client, silence. Dad said it was just a phase. Mom asked if I was still doing that computer thing. Alicia suggested I put digital handyman on my business card. So no, I didn't leave because I was wounded. I left because I had no interest in sitting around as the family's running joke. I grew up the kid who built his own PC at 13, while others played sports or went to dance lessons. I liked solving problems, fixing what didn't work. They saw me as antisocial. Lazy. Meanwhile, Alicia was putting on fake court trials in the living room at 10 years old, stuffed animals as jurors, Mom's blazer over her shoulders. Everyone applauded like she was curing cancer. When I fixed the Wi-Fi, reset Mom's friend's email, just the tech kid. By 20, I'd stopped trying to impress them. I built my client base quietly. I didn't brag. Success was supposed to speak for itself. But apparently, they were too busy clapping for Alicia's bar exam scores and her LinkedIn flexes to hear it. That meme was the final straw. Not because they misunderstood me, but because they really believed that's all I was. A punchline, the weaker sibling, so I left. Simple. Later that night, I thought about it, not the meme itself, but how easy it was for them. Their mockery came naturally. Just like their constant applause for Alicia, even when I was the one secretly fixing her problems. Like the time her company portal crashed mid-conference. She panicked, called me, and I fixed the CSS and JavaScript on the spot. She later bragged to her team that she'd solved it herself. That's who she was. I wasn't bitter. I just stopped playing the mascot role. I kept screenshots of the meme, though, not for revenge, but as a reminder, like digital motivation. Receipts always help. Then I moved on. My inbox had 3 new requests: custom widget, broken WordPress, e-commerce tweaks. Real work, real clients. My unemployed gamer days were busy. A few days later, Alicia texted me, "I need your help. Urgent. No hello, no pleasantries, straight to panic." Apparently her files were compromised. I think I was hacked. Something important could leak. I laughed, out loud, alone in my room. The same person who mocked me at Thanksgiving in front of Dad's colleagues for wearing a sweatshirt instead of a blazer now needed me to rescue her career. I ignored it. Next morning, another text. "This is serious. These are confidential files. I could be in trouble." Then, "Just look at it. You're not even working a real job anyway." That last line was it, so I replied. "You want professional help? Pay my professional rate." Calm, direct, no sarcasm, she flipped. "Wow, really?" Charging your own sister. You'd let me get in trouble over a joke. I muted her. Hours later, Mom called, cue the guilt trip voice. Called her, your sister's in serious trouble, you can't just let her drown. She said I don't have a real job, I reminded her. Well, this unemployed gamer is busy right now. Don't be petty, she sighed. She's your sister. And I'm your son, I snapped back. Funny how that only counts when Alicia needs something. She didn't like that. Tried to spin it as me being jealous. The same tired excuse they'd used since childhood. Nope, I wasn't jealous, just done being unpaid family IT. I hung up. Next morning, it all blew up. Alicia's files did leak, but not contracts, not client documents. Nope, screenshots of her affair. Explicit texts, sexual images, audio notes where she called a married client daddy and joked about billing their sexting as consultation hours. Her work email was visible in the corner. Timestamps, names, everything. No burner, just pure recklessness uploaded to Google Drive like a ticking time bomb. By noon, it was everywhere. Gossip networks, law school groups, local legal circles. Some texts even mentioned her firm by name. Let's keep this quiet, my firm would flip if they saw this. Yeah, about that. By afternoon, whispers of disbarment started. Her firm launched an internal review. Meanwhile, my phone blew up. Old friends messaging, is that your sister trending on Legal Mess? Isn't she the one who called you unemployed? The irony was delicious, but I didn't gloat. I just sipped cold coffee, handled my client dashboard, and watched her reputation collapse in real time. Then a WhatsApp message from her. What did you do? She thought I leaked it. I hadn't touched a thing. I warned her months ago her passwords were trash. She'd laughed, called me paranoid. Now she wanted a scapegoat. By evening, her husband wiped her from his socials, deleted wedding pics, changed his bio to forward. That one hit harder than any meme. Later, he called me from a burner. Voice tired, not angry. Be straight with me. Did you leak this? I told him the truth. She came to me, refused to pay, and then it leaked. I had nothing to do with it. He paused, then said, I believe you. Hung up. That was it. That night, he posted their dog on Instagram with a caption, she got the degree. I got the loyalty. Savage. Meanwhile, I kept working. A local HVAC tech even recommended me to a contractor who needed scheduling software. You're the guy who doesn't mess around, he told him. That meant more to me than every word of praise my family ever gave. The family group chat? Silent. No damage control, no excuses. Too busy cleaning up Alicia's mess. Around midnight, one last text from her. You're enjoying this, aren't you? I didn't reply, just archived the chat. I wasn't celebrating. This wasn't my win. It was just proof that the same people who mocked me, dismissed me, and only saw me as free tech support came begging when things got serious. And I've got receipts. Every text, every timestamp. Safely saved in a folder I named, in case of blame game. Because if there's one lesson I've learned about people like her, it's that they don't lose gracefully. They always want someone to sync with them. This time, though, I wasn't anywhere near the blast radius. For years, I had been the cushion they all leaned on, the one they mocked in one breath and called for favors in the next. But not anymore. This time, I was just the guy watching the chaos unfold from a safe distance, complete with screenshots, backups, and a folder neatly labeled, Not my problem. Alicia, meanwhile, was spiraling. First, her law firm. The second the screenshots hit their inbox, they shifted into full cover-your-ass mode. Inside, they called it professional conduct concerns. Outside, they simply erased her name from their website, like she'd never existed. Next were the clients. One in particular stood out, a wealthy property owner she used to flaunt at family dinners. He cut ties instantly, pulled his documents, and replaced her without even saying goodbye. Left nothing but a short online review. Unreliable, would not recommend. Then came the personal crash. Her husband locked her out, changed the security codes, took the car, and according to a buddy of mine in town, even listed her overpriced Peloton as free pickup on Craigslist. And just when I thought the storm had passed, I heard a knock on my door. It was my parents. Now my apartment isn't far from their place, but they rarely drop by unless they're desperate or out of options. Seeing them both on my doorstep with forced smiles, I already knew this wasn't about catching up. Can we talk? Mom asked. Sure, I said, shoes off. They sat down like they were about to face a parole board. Dad cleared his throat. Your sister's going through a hard time. Yeah, I said. Looks like she's been going through people too. Mom winced. Please, Calder. I reminded them of all the times Alicia had dismissed me, how freelancing was just fake employment. How I was lucky if someone needed a cheap website. They shifted uncomfortably, avoided eye contact. We're not here to fight old battles, Dad said flatly. We're here to ask for your help. I raised an eyebrow. The same help she refused to pay for? Silence. She's under investigation, Mom finally admitted. The Bar Association might suspend her. She could lose her license. She leaked her own affair texts, I said. All I did was say no. She claims you tampered with them, Dad cut in. I laughed so hard it made them flinch. Then she should sue me. Oh, right, she probably will. She's terrified, Mom whispered. She should have been terrified before she hit send. That's when they revealed the real reason for the visit. Guilt-tripping hadn't worked, so they went for manipulation. Dad slid a folder toward me. Inside was a typed statement with Alicia's signature, claiming the screenshots were fabricated possibly by a family member with access to her cloud account. They wanted me to sign too. You're asking me to confess on paper that I staged this whole scandal, Dad nodded calmly. It's just to quiet things down. No one's going to dig too deep. Mom folded her arms. She has a reputation to save, Calder. You don't be reasonable, I blinked. So you're really saying I have nothing to lose? She's a lawyer, Mom said. She built a career. You work from a laptop. You'll bounce back. That's the dumbest argument I've ever heard, I said. You want me to lie just so she can keep playing better than me? We're not asking you to lie, Dad insisted. We're asking you to support your sister. I stood up. This isn't support. This is me setting myself on fire so she can stay warm. Mom snapped. This is why no one takes you seriously. You twist everything into some big drama about how unfair life is. I pointed at the door. Take the folder and leave. Dad frowned like I'd failed a test. You're being emotional. No, I said. I'm finished. Mom grabbed her purse angrily. I hope you're happy when she loses everything. She lost it the moment she treated me like garbage and expected me to fix her mess. They muttered all the way out. Just before the door closed, Dad tossed in his usual parting jab. You've always had a chip on your shoulder. I opened the door again. Yeah, and it's gotten me farther than your approval ever did. That night, Alicia texted, You always wanted to see me fall. Well, congrats, you got your wish. I didn't answer. Instead, I opened an email from a new client, a property manager who needed back-end help for a housing platform. He said he found me through a referral. Heard you're the guy who gets things done without the drama. I signed the deal. The next morning, I got a LinkedIn message from her old law school roommate. Hey, don't know if you've heard, but Alicia's been suspended. Word is she's blaming you. Exactly what I expected, the scapegoat play. She couldn't just fail. She needed a villain. And since I'd refused to bail her out, I became the target in her imaginary courtroom. That afternoon, I got another email from a company she'd applied to before the scandal. Their hiring manager had seen the mess online and messaged me instead. Would you be open to consulting with us? We'd rather work with someone reliable. I said yes. While I was troubleshooting their system, Alicia was busy launching her next move. Legal intimidation. A few days later, a cease and desist letter landed in my mailbox. It looked like something copied from a bad template site. Her firm's letterhead slapped on a sloppy Word doc, formatting lines still visible. She was suing me for defamation, emotional damage, and malicious sabotage of reputation. Claimed damages, $120,000. I sent it straight to my attorney, Bramwell. Big guy, gentle voice, sharp mind. He read it, then left me a voice memo that started with, bro, and ended with, we're going to bury her. We filed a response, included every receipt, her texts begging for help, me stating my rates, her refusal, and her later accusation. Plus server logs proving I never touched her files. Her own Google Drive history showed the truth. She'd shared access with 3 people. Guess who was on the list? Yep, her affair partner. 2 weeks later, I showed up early for court, just to get a front row seat to the circus. Alicia walked in looking like she hadn't slept in days, dragging some underpaid junior associate along. Her lawyer tried painting me as a bitter sibling with tech expertise who leaked her files out of jealousy. I nearly laughed out loud. Then Bramwell stood up. Calm, precise, he laid out the facts. Unsecured cloud folder, her own admissions, her refusal to pay me, and the digital trail pointing straight to her lover's account. Receipts on receipts. When the judge asked if there was any evidence I was involved, her lawyer stammered, No, Your Honor, but the timing. Then move on, the judge snapped. Alicia gave some weak speech about betrayal and family, but it sounded like a kid winging a book report. Finally, the judge leaned forward. You didn't bring a case, he said. You brought a vendetta dressed as a lawsuit. Courts aren't weapons for personal grudges. You should know that you were a lawyer. Case dismissed. With prejudice. Done. I walked out without a smirk. No victory lap. Just nodded to Bramwell and went back to work. That night, I posted a photo on my business page, me holding a coffee mug, middle finger taped down. Caption, Unemployed Gamer. Court case survivor, book me early, my schedule's packed. Was it a little petty? Sure, but it was also the truth. Comments poured in, tell us the story, king. Hire this guy before he's too expensive. One of my old coding instructors even chimed in. Knew you had it in you, keep building. The next day, Alicia posted a moody black and white quote, sometimes those closest to you cut the deepest. It got 4 likes. Mom called again. You humiliated her. Was it worth it? She sued me, I replied. All I did was show up with the truth. Silence. Meanwhile, business was booming. New referrals rolled in. Bramwell even looped me into a side project for another one of his clients. I was working with steady, respectful people who valued results, not drama. Alicia faded into the background. Word spread she'd moved out of her condo, sold off her luxury handbags, and was taking time for her mental health. Which is fine, take all the time you need. Just don't pretend healing was your goal when you were swinging knives a week earlier. That chapter closed itself. I didn't need to gloat. I didn't need to post side-by-side screenshots of the meme that started it all versus the court papers that ended it. I just kept building, and funny enough, the quieter I stayed, the louder my work spoke. 2 weeks later, I signed 3 new clients, one from Bramwell's referral, one from a guy who saw my court survivor post, and one completely random real estate agency that needed urgent back-end fixes. I had their system running in 48 hours. They left me a glowing testimonial. Professional, no excuses, no drama. Would hire again in a heartbeat. That single review triggered 4 more inquiries. Enough work that I hired a part-time junior developer to help manage the overflow. He's still in school, raw but hungry. Reminded me of myself. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to leave a comment, hit subscribe, follow for more, and turn on the bell icon so you never miss the next one. Backhand index pointing right.